Hi, my name's Emma, and I'm a huge book nerd.
You're my library, always open for business, but you never show it. You're just sitting with it, but I know the score, and you're killing it.
Welcome to 2019, and also my December wrap-up. December was not a great reading month for me, but that's okay. No big deal. 2019 is a new year. Everything's gonna be great. The first book that I finished reading in December was an audiobook, and it is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. And I have been anticipating this book for so long, and I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to the audiobook. And I liked the audiobook a lot. I really wanted to give it 5 stars, but I think for whatever reason, it felt like a 4.5 to me. Like I'm just getting so picky about my 5 stars. It was just like missing that one little thing, but it's incredibly well written. So the book is about the Golden State Killer and Michelle McNamara's search for him. She's like a true crime amateur detective, you know, internet detective. She wrote this book about him and her search for him, and it's really good. It was written before they caught him, which is really interesting to read. And she passed away before he was caught too, which is like, ugh, if only she had lived to see the day. But excellent book if you're a fan of true crime, highly recommend, but I'm sure if you're a fan of true crime, you don't need me to tell you that. The next book I read in December was also an audiobook, and it was The Deal of a Lifetime by Friedrich Bachmann. And this is actually a short story, like a little novella, and I liked it. It was Christmassy. I didn't love it. It was just kind of meh. I think it started in a really interesting way that like really sucked you in, and I liked the structure of it. I gave it a three stars. It might also have been that it was an audiobook. Basically, the story is about a father and son who haven't seen each other in a really long time, and they're seeing each other again, and the father has to tell him the story before it's too late because the dad's like dying. I don't want to give too much more away because it kind of like reveals itself, but yeah, it's good. Then I read an ARC that I received called Stronger, Faster, and More Beautiful by Arwen Ellis Dayton. This is a YA dystopian science fiction book about basically a world in which humans are enhanced by mechanical things, like humans and mechanics have merged together. It started with like medical help, but then people just started adding like gills so they could breathe underwater and stuff like that. There were things about this book that I really loved. I thought the writing was good. I thought that the world was really interesting. The big thing that I didn't like was it's not really a novel. It's like 5 short stories stuck together, short stories in the same universe stuck together, years apart. So the interesting thing about that is you get to see the progress of the society, but the frustrating thing about it is that you don't get to spend enough time with the characters, and so the payoff is not as big. And like for something that like appears to be a novel, I wanted more of a through line and like connection, because I was like, why did I read about those first 3 stories? I don't know. There was something off about that to me, but that being said, I still really liked this, and if this sounds up your alley, then I highly recommend it, because I ended up giving it 4 stars, even though I thought that like novella thing happening was kind of weird. I didn't end up reading all of the Christmas books that were on my TBR, but the one that I did read was Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohen and David Levithan, and I really liked this. This was really cute and just the perfect heartwarming holiday read. I just really enjoyed this story and it warmed my heart. It's about a young man named Dash and a young woman named Lily, and he is in a bookshop one day and he finds a red moleskin notebook that Lily left there, and it has instructions. And should he choose to accept, he must complete the instructions. He does, and you know, their relationship takes off from there. So it's really cute. I give it 4 stars. Highly recommend for the winter months. Then I read Chocolate by Joanne Harris, and this was just a treat. It was a river of warm melted chocolate. It was, I don't know, delectable would be the word I would use to describe it. I read it for my book club and we have not yet discussed it, but I cannot wait because we are definitely gonna have like hot cocoa and like chocolate treats, and like it's gonna be a whole night, and I'm very excited because this book was just lovely. It is about this woman named Vienne who ends up in this little French town of Lascannais on the heels of the carnival, and she and her little daughter open a chocolate shop right across the street from the church. And she does this during Lent, and the priest is not very happy about it. That's basically how it starts, and it just takes off from there in the best possible way. I loved it. And then the last book that I read, kind of the last, I was listening to this on audiobook while I was reading those, but it's Holidays on Ice by David Sedaris, and this is a collection of short stories, holiday themed, and I didn't quite finish it. And I don't know that I will. Either that or I might save it till next year. It doesn't feel right to not read it around Christmas because they're all Christmas stories, you know? But I did enjoy this. I didn't love it. I think if I were to rate it right now, I would give it 3 stars. But, I mean, I don't really know. I'm a little undecided. I'll let you know if I ever do end up picking this back up. So those are all the books that I read in December. Not a whole lot, but that's okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below, and have a great 2019. Bye!
Now I was headed to the bus